Hey homeschoolers, I'm Melissa Webb, former full-time classroom teacher and homeschool mom turned full-time business CEO and encourager to homeschool families everywhere. I am determined and dedicated to helping you in this journey that you're on. Yes, I want to give you sound, educational, practical tips and advice, at the same time making sure that you're enjoying the family journey that you are on. So if you are looking for a place to be encouraged and inspired, you have found the perfect podcast. Homeschooling is a work of heart is truly the perfect place to start. So welcome. Let's jump in.
Well, hello, friend, and welcome back to another episode of Homeschool is a Work of Heart. Okay, I'm very happy to report that this week I get to record the podcast in the comfort of my own home. I do not know if the sound quality changed last week. In fact, I've actually had some sound quality issues over the last few weeks. I have a new mic. I'm hoping it's really good. I planned on using it last week, but with the power outages in all of Southern California, I was without power and I recorded last week's episode sitting in the parking lot of Lowe's. It's the only place I could find internet and power in the same spot. I tried so many other things. It really was comical. At one point, I had to laugh, and yet it still happened. I got it done. So glory for that. That just made me so happy that it all worked out. And I thought I was going to have the same problem this week, but I am happy to report I'm in the comfort of my own home recording this, which makes me very happy because it's a big week over at Right On Web. So Right On Web is my business. I help homeschool families who have children in 3rd through 8th grade. I help them with their academic essay writing. So this is not your fluff class. We're here to learn how to write introductory paragraphs and body paragraphs and what's a thesis statement and where do I put my topic sentence and what is a call to action. It's all of these parts, and we create courses, a variety of courses, and it is course orientation week. We're starting a new semester, so we are onboarding many new students and welcoming back the greatest majority of returning students we've ever had. So that's great. It tells me we did a really good job in the fall if they're all coming back for the spring. So we're really happy about that. But one of the things I love to do before we get started is host some webinars. We have one week where it's the course orientation webinars. I have a couple days that I offer them for the parents to come and join one. And then I have a couple more days where the students can come and join one. And that's just kind of a get to know one another. Let me just tell you the bird's eye view of what you're getting yourself into. And then the following week, which will be all of next week, is welcome week. So we answer questions, again, just making ourselves available. And the course begins the last week of January. So as I said, this week was course orientation week, and I had some really great parent webinars. I love meeting with so many amazing moms and dads. Yes, I'm seeing more and more dads come to all these meetings, which I love. And as we were starting off the time that we spent together, I shared a story. It's an old Chinese folktale. And I told the families when I showed them the screen, and the screen, which I know you can't see, but I'll just tell you just a picture of a Chinese woman who's walking on a path. You can see her house far off on the left, and down the path, down the hill is a river, and she's walking carrying one of those long sticks on her shoulders with a pot on either side. And this old Chinese folktale is called The Cracked Pot. And if it's not a folktale you're familiar with, I'm excited to share it with you today. But before I do, I also want to say if you already know it, I hope you still stick around and listen because I think there are a couple important parts to this story that will resonate with parents. For one, I find stories like these inspiring and motivating, and that's really what I hope you will find in it as well today. But what I was sharing with the parents is that I had created this slide set that I used to host the webinar about 2 weeks ago. And I had reviewed them a couple days before we had our webinar. And the morning of our webinar, I was actually in the shower. Some of my best thoughts come to me in the shower. And this story popped into my mind. It was very clear to me that I was supposed to share it. Instead of what I was going to talk about, which was a whole other thing, it was very clear I needed to delete that slide and insert this one. And I said to the families that I was meeting with, I don't know who's supposed to hear this, but I think somebody's supposed to hear this. And let me just tell you, several people responded with gratitude that I did follow suit and share what was on my heart. So I'm going to go ahead and share it with all of you listeners as well, because I do think it just may land in a soft spot in your heart and hopefully encourage you as well today. First, I'm just going to tell you the story, and I'm going to talk to you about why I think it's very relevant. This is how the story goes. Long ago, there was a woman who would head to the river every morning to collect water for her day's chores, cooking, cleaning, whatnot. And she had 2 pots that she carried on this long stick that rested on her shoulders. Now, one of the pots was in perfect condition, but the other pot was cracked. And every morning she would put in the work of putting those on her shoulders, walking down to the river, filling the pots, and walking back home. But by the time that she would return home, the cracked pot would have very little water in it. It was cracked. She tried repairing the pot with various substances, but ultimately, the cracked pot was a cracked pot and it would eventually start leaking again. And this went on for years. Finally, one day, the cracked pot spoke to the woman and it said, "Woman, you must get rid of me. I do you no good. You fill me up and you try your best every single day, but I'm a cracked pot." Well, this gentle and very patient woman simply smiled, and she looked at the pot and said, "What? There is nothing wrong with you. For years, I have been spreading flower seeds along the right side of the path as we have walked together to the river. And on our way home, you have been watering them. Our journey to the river and home is more beautiful because of you." I love that story for several different reasons, but the reason why I think it's relevant right now is because I know how exhausting opting to homeschool your children can be. You've made it through half a school year. Congratulations, that's fabulous. But you have another half to go. And at this point, sometimes we're really, really tired. And I think in many ways, we're like this Chinese woman. Because here's the thing. Every morning you wake up with hope and you get prepared. Maybe you make a really healthful breakfast for your family. Maybe you've done all the laundry and folded it and you've put clean clothes in your children's room. You've put out your lesson plans. You're excited about the new novel you're going to begin. And your child says, "I don't like this. I don't want to eat this for breakfast. Mom, these clothes aren't comfortable. This sweater's itchy. I don't want to read that book." Right? Our kiddos are our little cracked pots. And I mean that in the most loving way. But sometimes, even though we try to fix them with the various substances, maybe we say, okay, I'm going to make pancakes instead. No, I don't want pancakes either. Okay, how about this sweatshirt? Is this more comfortable? No, I don't like the color. Right? We try all of these different things. We've got a very big tool chest. And we're trying all these different tools. We're putting new tools in, we're taking tools out. But inevitably, our little cracked pots are little cracked pots. And we're never going to get it all right all the time. But we're certainly not going to throw them out either. And so the thing that I really, really want you to consider is that you are not wasting your time. You're not. This woman wasn't wasting her time. Things just looked differently than she had imagined they would. The pot didn't make it home full of water for her to do her chores, but it still brought her so much joy because she looked at it for what it could do and for what it could offer. I don't know what your struggles are right now in the realm of homeschooling, but I know your burden can be so heavy. And I just want to encourage you to embrace your little cracked pots and to love on them and to realize, yes, they may have their imperfections, but they are still oh so precious. And I do hope that that encourages somebody today. And I hope you all have a most wonderful week. Right on.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in and listening this week. Hey, if this was something that you found valuable, don't forget you want to subscribe or follow so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll be the first to know. And hey, before you go, if you are looking to get some of this academic writing under your belt and outsourced so that it's one less thing, freeing you up to enjoy more time with your family, hey, you're going to want to head over to writeonweb.com to see what kinds of resources and materials I have available for you. I will look forward to seeing you there, and I will look forward to seeing you here in our next episode. Right on.